Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. And welcome back to the HCW channel. And welcome back to another edition of HCW Show Squared, the show takes a future format or formula of the HCW Show podcast and expands the power of, you guessed it, two. I'm your host, as always, Dan, DP, or as we all say in the hood, DpuizY, yeah. And I'm now joined by someone who we wanted to have on for a little bit because it's been a while since they've been on. I am joined by the collective duo of Penciled In. I'm joined by Nikki and I'm joined by Mike. How are you guys doing?
Hey! We are the Nerd Borg.
He exists again.
I was going to power down for the summer. And then I come back when it was bright outside. Maybe I'm a vampire. Who knows?
Came back for the old winter podcast season.
Oh, yeah. Cozy podcasting.
But how are you guys doing? You been doing okay?
Yeah, doing good. We finished our wrestle season now, going to live shows, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're done for the year.
It's been an awesome year.
Yeah,
it really has. It's been fantastic. So getting out to different promotions and stuff, and just the people you meet, everything about it. It just got better and better every time, and yeah it's been a great year for it. So
we finished with Progress as well, which was quite a nice way to go out. So
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
How about you?
Not much in terms of wrestling. It's been quiet on my front for the last few months, but weirdly enough, it's weird that you guys have finished your live shows. I've got like 4 or 5 in the month of December that I'm planning to go to.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, there's that as well. A new promotion I'm going to as well called Lucha Britannia. And they've got a combination of wrestling and a live heavy metal performance.
Nice.
When they do stuff like this. Yes, absolutely.
That sounds fun.
I've
Lucha
never
Britannia
heard of them. By the way, the group, they're called Slay Dougie. I don't know if do you guys know? I don't know.
That rings a bell.
Is that a Hey Dougie metal?
It'll probably be yeah.
Oh hell yeah, like the Ned Flanders.
Yeah.
Thought the Hey Dougie.
But yeah, definitely, it's not my kind of music whatsoever. So it's gonna be weird to see how it is in live in person.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
Definitely. I have to get some clips of that band.
Yep.
And the wrestling, obviously, but and at least Britannia, like for some reason I thought that was a thing, but it wasn't. It was something else.
It is a promotion that's been around for a while. Like it's been around for a few years.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So no, I meant new. I meant new to me, as in my first time attending.
Right, fantastic, cool. Yeah, I do believe like years, and then I'm going like 2016 or something like that. I remember I think it was then they had a show on where they did something like that, or that was like kind of how they did things.
Is that kind of how they do it? Nice.
I think so. I don't know, but I know it was a thing across other like places. I saw a lot of YouTube clips of like different promotions doing stuff like that, mainly in America.
I'm gonna have to look into this.
But it's a really good idea having a rock show or just like a music like a gig.
Mm-hmm. You know, they do the same thing in Hustle Wrestling as well, where they have like up and coming like rap artists and climb artists, and they do like the interval. It's not sing song. They do the interval performance.
You got it.
Everybody.
Mojo was up on lip syncing, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's lip syncs. Cult of Personality.
Oh, Cult of Personality. Yeah, he was also doing some other songs.
Doing jeopardy. It's fun time. But yeah, I like the idea of that. We've said multiple times that we see like an avenue for Pro to like introduce some kind of like rap battle.
We've got more rappers all over the show at South Pro, haven't they? So it wouldn't be. We had the rappers versus wrestlers football match. So
That was a lot of fun.
I don't think I don't think they'd be too thingy about mixing that together at some point. That'd be fun. But I just feel like there should be like more musical intervals, please.
Yeah.
I love the conga at Progress, and I love a raffle. But I'd be good. I'd be good with like a local band or something, like kind of just kind of supporting everything.
Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
fun.
But it's funny you mentioned that, actually, because the idea of the football match, because there's a thing they do in Barry Wrestling in Canada where they celebrate, as they call it, soccer, and they literally have like a football match in the ring.
All right, on.
In the ring.
Yeah, in the ring. I mean, it's more just a football match that turns into a brawl, but like.
Yeah. To be fair,
it's a fuck about.
It works. It works.
Yeah, literally. They do the whole like,
all right,
the Champions League, like stand in a row, white plays, music sort of thing, like the anthem, like.
Awesome.
Shout out to Barry Wrestling.
I might need you to remind me of that later. I think I'm going to check those out after this for sure.
I'll send you some links. Yeah.
Please do. I want to see how that plays out. I can't.
Literally.
But yeah, this is a podcast about NXT, believe it or not.
It was indie.
It wasn't happening in Philadelphia this time. I was pretty sure of it.
I mean, they did enforce it a few times that we were in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
So,
I really appreciate you guys, because when I was on my walk, I was listening back to it and I'd completely forgotten where they were. So,
see,
you guys,
it's a valid issue, like.
It was easy to miss.
Very easy to miss.
Yeah, exactly. It isn't like they mentioned it several times. It's just they mentioned it like maybe once if we were lucky.
Might not have caught it, to be fair. Blinking, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Sorry, NXT.
Right. So yeah, this is for NXT for the 19th of November. We are here in Orlando, Florida. In Florida, Orlando. And it seemingly turned red and black because everyone's here in Chase U colours. And why are they here in Chase U colours? Because we're potentially looking at the death of Chase U. We don't know that yet. That is the stipulation that's been put in front of us for the main event. So yeah, can they repel the evil force that is Ridge Holland? Or will they, succumb to it? But we've got a whole show to get through first before we get to that, so let's start off. We kick things off with backstage. That's how we start things off. We see the men's tag champions, Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, walking. Axiom's worried about the upcoming tag title match. Nathan's not too worried about that because he's got an Iron Survivor match to worry about. And then this does lead to a bit of tension between them, as they've been building for the last year at this point.
Yeah.
And then Nathan makes a comment about not being worried again, and then behind them is Gallus. Less about them, the better. But they're there, and they're standing there menacingly. But after that, it's now time for the first match of the night. It's the Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying match. Nathan Frazier against everyone's favourite Native American, Eddie Thorpe.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah. Florida. So Nathan wins with the Phoenix Splash. I rated this 3 stars. I felt it was a decent match and it caught me off guard. Because, truth be told, I've not been impressed with Eddie. I don't think he's done too much. He's sort of just been thrown into this match. And with Nathan, it's sort of like, you know, Eddie, and if Eddie does win, it's gonna be a huge upset because Nathan's quite a big fish now, and you've got Eddie who's sort of, Ava, give me a match, please. Like, it's just, I don't know, but yeah. I'll ask you guys a question because this is something that was going around in the circles I'm in. Before the match, did you think Eddie thought was going to win?
No.
I was in two minds, basically because of the Fraxi element of it all. Like, I was like, are they gonna actually have it where he's able to where he does lose and then he has to like Axiom can be like, okay, so now can we focus on this? He's like, no, this is nonsense or something like that. I don't know.
It's just like you thought it was going to further fracture, like
Initially I thought, but I didn't see it as a thing for Eddie Thorpe, and that's what I think you is getting at. It's you said it as well. It's like, what has he done? What is he? And what's the point? Because everything he's done, he's kind of here and then he's flashing back. I'm not saying I don't like the guy either, by the way, because every single time I see him, he does, you know, he shows out. If the match caught you off guard, I don't know if I often get blown away by Nathan Frazier's speed and just genuine like accuracy and talent. The point where he makes other people look good. I'm not saying that is what he's done here, but I felt like Eddie worked with him well.
Yeah, it was good.
And it's opening something for him. But yeah, the match itself was really good and really fun. But going into it, sorry, as you say, I was really in two minds about it.
No, I didn't. I really like Eddie. And like I keep think he gets some momentum and then it fizzles out, and that is on them, not necessarily him. I think because he always does everything to the best of his ability, and every other than the kind of like I'm a DJ now kind of stuff that didn't really hit with me. I'm an old lady and that's fine. It's not really for me. It's fine. But the other stuff he was doing for a while, I was over with him. But then he's kind of been missing for a while, and I don't know. I didn't even know that it was him in the match until he came out. I was like, oh, okay, he's not winning. But doesn't mean I'm not happy to see him.
No, of course, yeah.
And you know, I liked his gusto afterwards. So
I think. I don't know what it was. It was just like people who I was speaking to about this outside of the podcast. They were like, "Oh, Eddie's winning because there's the tag team title stuff for Deadline, and there's all these tag teams." I was like, you know what? That's a valid point. But Eddie Thorpe, really?
That was it. It's you're gonna throw your big stars into this match because that's the whole point, isn't it? And that's what they've done every time. As well, and Eddie doesn't feel like he's there.
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
Because, like you say, he builds momentum and then he drops, then he builds momentum and then he drops. And
I'm hoping he just uses this as like a kind of another jumping off point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and this next whatever he's doing keeps that momentum and they don't let it fizzle out again.
Yeah, because we do get a follow up on Eddie Thorpe later on in the show as well, and I feel like there's something there with what they're doing with Eddie Thorpe.
Potential,
definitely,
potential. Something to be hopeful for.
Exactly. Very hopeful. But yeah, good match overall. It was just I feel like Nathan was the bigger fish here, and it didn't make much sense for him to lose.
No, it doesn't. But like you said, the tag stuff surrounding them was
just
really fun.
Slowly, just.
And it did further drive that fact of like, is he going to, if he, because like saying that was before the match, me thinking, you know, if he lost, it's because of that. Like I say, the only reason I thought Eddie would win would be to further a different person's storyline more than anything.
Yeah.
But, and there's not there's anything wrong with that. But, Nate, if he lost because he got distracted because, say, like, No Quarter came out, didn't he? And then he was like, oh, bloody hell, more of yous? Jesus. And everyone started swarming in. If he loses, Maxime gets hurt or something like that, Axel can be like, "Oh well, I told you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come
You're
on now,
looking around.
you're not looking around you here, man. You're not seeing what's going on." But it worked out.
Nathan kind of proved his own point a little bit, didn't he? He's like,
did.
no, I've got this and I've got that. We're fine.
He did.
However, one thing was at one point, like, why did Thorpe just like absolutely why did he just like cracks him in the face? Just like,
I know that too. I was like, okay, a bit weird.
he was just stood there at that point. He wasn't actually doing anything. But then he was like, you get it too.
Yeah.
Just,
It did seem because it wasn't even like it was part of the chaos. It was just
yeah, super kick.
I mean, it was definitely targeted to some extent because he didn't attack anyone else.
Yeah.
So
he was pissed off.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I did laugh. I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
It's almost akin to like, you know, someone in some sort of rampage and then they'd hit a referee randomly. It's like...
It's the like Nathan got him back though with that knee directly to the head.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Like that wasn't. There was nothing.
They didn't show a replay.
They didn't show a replay.
And for good reason, I think. Like...
You know it's bad when they don't show replays.
So for that, I really hope that is okay.
Yeah.
You see the ref immediately run over to Eddie as well after the pin.
Yeah. From the action as well as all the brawl continues around him. And he's visibly pissed off, obviously.
He's got a bloody nose.
Bloody nose. He's like, that's going to probably be me out for another 30 days.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'm just hopeful that he didn't break his nose or anything. He's just got a busted nose or whatever. I'm really hoping that he's not got like concussion or anything like that, because that was a moment where I just it was
like, part of me thought like, oh, it might have just been the time where it looked like it hit him in the face, but they didn't hit him in the face. And then I rewatched it. I was like, oh shit, it actually did hit him in the face.
yeah.
It sucks when it's worse second time around, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah. Bless him. My hope is on it.
For sure. But
yeah,
I'd say 3.5 is a really fair. But if I was going to push anything over the edge to a 4, it would be the surrounding element of the tag team division. Why the tag team wasn't necessarily the focal point of the show, it still kept them in the scene.
Made it exciting
of like, oh my god, there's a lot going on here. Maybe we should have a tournament of some sorts.
Yeah. But I just, as well, like, not to keep going on about this match, because it's literally the first match of the night, but I like the fact that all this chaos was going on around the ring, and Nathan still was able to hit his move in the chaos and not get to by all.
Yeah, he proved his point.
He really did. He could be a...
Hope it doesn't give him a too much false confidence in his abilities, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Because
he keeps proving it right.
The last thing you want is a fracture fraxium.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want a fracture. We don't want a fracture.
But yeah, post-match after this, we see Orphan Brawl again. Meanwhile, Eddie Thorpe is pouting by the announce table, which is fair enough. After this, we get a vignette of Chase U. Andre Chase is talking to his students and reminds us all what Chase U is about, what it means, and how important it is. I've got to say, it felt a bit like a eulogy.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of go the way,
Yeah, and because they've been wearing black for a while.
Yeah.
Last couple of times as well. So yeah, it felt like remember how great we are.
So I remember those days of when it was.
Yeah.
Also, where's Bodie Howard? Where's Bodie Hayward?
Really amateur. What's it called? Like style. It like kind of seemed like they were really like cheaply produced vignettes that they would do for them when he first just started. But the day at first we weren't sure what was going on because it was all around the NXT 2.0 stuff.
Yeah.
The second he threw out that F-bomb,
we were
like,
fans.
Oh yes, Mr. Chase, we are all in on you, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like through thick and thin, we've stuck by Chase U. Like even during, you know, Andre's gambling stuff and the whole JC stuff, and, you know, like, there's been issues.
There's some stuff.
We got it up before the match that is Chase U. And do it, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, Chase U's always fun, you know, they're nice just to be here. Suddenly I give a shit. Like, really hard.
Really good at that.
Care. So, yeah, love that for Chase U.
For sure. After this, we get a vignette from Julia, who talks about her background and her moniker, Beautiful Madness. She's aiming to win the Iron Survivor and then beat Roxanne Perez. That seems to be the goal.
Yep.
After this, backstage, Kalani Jordan is in the locker room, I assume watching the vignette that was just on. And she's like, how can I improve myself? Because no one's better than Lani. How do I do this? And then behind her is Rob Stone and Stevie Turner. And as always, they're bickering a little because that's just what they do.
Yeah.
And then Rob, for some reason, Rob Stone, he's like, hey, Kalani, wouldn't it be cool if Julia was in the Iron Survivor and not you?
Why?
Yeah, he does that occasionally, Roger. So he just throws himself into the fire needlessly.
Yeah.
So needlessly. When was it they were doing something recently? Was it when they were in Philly? He just went off, didn't he? And
He's
so
like, I hate Philadelphia. It's the worst setting. I like New York better.
That's a stern heel turn, man. Really bad. So you're avoiding the police? Like, jeez.
But yeah, Kalani is fueled by this comment, and she wants to fight Julia basically, and demands a match of her for next week for Iron Survivor. So, Kalani Julia, I'm down for that.
Yeah, definitely down for that. Prediction wise, I'd very much prefer to see Julia win than Kalani myself.
Yeah,
because
I'm the same way. I think Julia winning that anyway. I think it's a cool to what you said earlier, Mike. Like, it's about getting the big names in to the Iron Survivor.
Yeah,
and Julia's a bigger name than Kalani, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do tend to like. You can have like one outrunner, can't you? Like one person that you don't realize, like kind of like the sleeper. Some fucking like when Grayson Waller did he win it?
He won it, yeah.
Did Grayson Waller win it?
The first one, yeah.
That year, before the match started, we'd completely written him off as no way he's going to win this. Mm-hmm. And then as we were watching, we started talking about everything that he'd done and he'd accomplished in NXT at the time. And then suddenly we were like, holy crap, actually, he's actually really good and belongs here. Mm-hmm. Could take this. And then he took it and we were like, oh, what the... Like, we talked ourselves around during the match and just realised how much. So there is someone there is room for like a Kalani in there for sure, because she's been a champion. She's very much someone who's being treated as a top person. But if you're going to go with Kalani against Julia, Stephanie Baker, I'm already like, Sol Ruka's going to have a tough night, man. Like, and whoever else is in there, because, oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that seems to be in place for next week.
Great match.
After this, we go to the next match of the night, which is another Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying match between Jada Parker and Stephanie Vakir. I've got to say, right, Jada Parker, she's going to be obviously this, badass woman, basically a heel, right? But she always puts a little smirk when she does her little shoulder pop thing. Like, she's always a little smirk is there. It's like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, it does it gives you like fun energy, just like
yeah. So I'll kick you.
Confident.
I'll kick your ass, but I can have fun too.
It's fun doing it.
Yeah,
you can. You can look so like a dog. He's like, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. Yeah.
Yeah. I could talk all day about it, but I won't.
That's fair. So yeah, Stephanie Fakir and Jada Barker, and the winner is of course Stephanie Fakir with the package backbreaker. Still no official name for it as of yet.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's just the package backbreaker for now. I'm assuming she'll give a name to it eventually, but just not yet. So yeah, I rated this 3.5 stars. Really good match between these two. I would prefer the longer match personally because these two got good time, but it was like I wanted more time.
Yeah.
Sure. What we got here was great for TV. So I'm not going to complain if these two run it back at a PLE in the longer match. Like,
oh god, no.
Like these two are amazing, but there was also Lola Vice interference towards the end. So I also feel like we're going back with Jada and Lola again at some point.
Yeah,
sure.
I've got to say, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending because of the way it was, but at the same time, I understand you've got to protect Jada. So having her in this way protects her from having a clean loss.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to get more from Jada and Lola. Stephanie has qualified, and hopefully we'll go back to Jada and Lola without the convoluted special guest referee. Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yay. I love Jada. And I thought that match was great. I'd give it 3.5 as well. If it had been a bit longer, I think it would have gone 4 for me.
Yeah, same.
Because like you, I was like, yes, I was genuinely getting into it because Jada she blows me away. She's such a heavy hitter. She's got speed. She's explosive. She's confident. She's a heel, but she's kind of like that heel that you love a little bit.
Yeah.
She's not over.
Yeah, the crowd love her. She's not really necessarily coming out to boos and stuff. And I mean, I've been over with her from day one. And then, yeah, just the whole match was fantastic. And the potential that we're going to get another Lola Jada match. How many would that be? Would this be their third match?
Their third, yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes
match makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. And they keep trying to push it a little bit further. So we know Lola likes to go with the whole kind of blood sport stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her be like, all right, we did your street fight.
The underground.
Let's do my fight kind of thing. And I'm interested to see that if that's what they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Or, just Bloodsport. Just Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Just have them both on there.
Oh my god. Thank you. I would love to see her on actual Bloodsport.
Just a Lola Vice, even if she gets like, she's like, just still.
Yeah.
With a little booty.
Run back her and train her at Bloodsport, or her and Masha Slamovich. That'd be wild.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
She goes hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
But that was the match was great. Like I say, time wise, when I realised that Lola was coming out, when she started running, she was like, this bitch. I was gutted again. It's just like, this is where it ends, and that's fine. Okay, I can see the end coming now. We know what's going to happen, and you can also see the following points, like you say about Lola and Jada's kind of story from here. But yeah, it was probably the right decision though. Stephanie looks even more like strong, and like it protects Jada in a way of like you'll never know, she can beat her. So if
they get
still room
as well,
there's also room for, I can't remember, are they going to do like they one last year where it was like for the final spot it was like the 3 losers triple threat,
the final chance sort of match.
Yeah. Did they do that? I can't remember.
They've done that for something.
They've done it for something.
I don't know if it was Line Survivor, but maybe it was.
Maybe it's been so much.
Honestly, I kind of hope not in this case because I've got a pitch for the men's side of the Iron Survivor that I want to see happen. I don't want it to be one of the 4 losers.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. I wish you hear this.
But yeah, we will get into that. So yeah, after this, we go backstage. We see Dean Lennox and Brindley Reese preparing for their mixed tag match later on. They talk about, I think it was NFL. I'm not a follower. I don't know. But Dion's pumped. Brindley's pumped. And Brindley's pumped that Dion's pumped. They're pumped.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida, Orlando.
Yeah, exactly. We're in Orlando, Florida, Orlando.
That was my child day. Sorry, Charlie Kennedy.
We move on from that. We get a Twitter post on WWE's Twitter from Roxanne Perez. She's on holiday. She's enjoying her time on the beach, because she hasn't got to be there. And if you're champion and they're all fighting for your title, why should you be there? So fair play to her. Taking a week off or 2 weeks off, whatever, enjoying the sand and the beach. So fair play. However, she's not alone because she's joined by Sol Ruka on the surfboard. Cowbunga.
That did make me chuckle.
Yeah. There's no one actually told Roxanne about Sol Ruka's ability. She actually doesn't have to be anywhere. If you're on a beach, Sol Ruka can just appear in the sand.
It's one of her powers.
It's one of her powers. She just
it's just like Candyman, like just you sort of like say the name and it's.
I think she just materializes out of the sand like a Greek goddess, and it just becomes Sol Ruka. She comes with the surfboard as well, and she's like, "Yo, what's up?" And then we go.
That's like the magic amulet.
That's exactly what it is. There we go. We cleared it.
Oh, I would have loved.
Sorry.
I would have loved if Sol Ruka appeared at some point in this show backstage, just completely ruin the continuity.
Oh god, yeah. But that would just give so much more to my theory. How did she get there? There's the bathtub of sand, and it's just Sol Ruka's transformation. She just travels through the sand.
Is she literally the Flint Marko of NXT?
Sorry?
I was saying, is she literally the Flint Marko of NXT? The Sandman?
Which definitely is. Yeah. Definitely is. Yeah, I
can just appear from sand whenever they want.
Just, it would be so wonderful if just one time if they could just throw some decent special effects and she's just, it's like a sand person you can see and then it just shakes off her and she's like, Sol Ruka. Like her name.
I'm just saying, if they do this, if they do this 1 week, we know they watch the show.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta throw the really out there shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do it Halloween Havoc or something, like next year. Just literally, you just do a whole horror sequence where someone's on the beach and it's like enjoying time on the beach, or whatever, and just behind them spawns Sol Ruka. Just
he's up, and then she goes down. She comes under. You just see the trail, and it appears again.
Yeah, just leaving a surfboard behind, just every time. Oh.
My face hurt.
But no, surf's up. Everyone surfs up. It's time for the next match of the night. It's a non-title match as men's North American champion Tony D'Angelo takes on Brooks Jensen. Or I'd like to call him the, Jet Perry Light.
Yeah, very much a Jack Perry situation.
Yep.
It looks exactly like him.
It's just everything about it feels very the scapegoat. Because I'm pretty sure that he even said that he was a scapegoat on X when he was doing his whole
He did.
meltdown thing. Yep.
It feels a little tongue in cheek. Like they're aware. They know.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't feel too disrespectful or anything like that, but it does definitely feel,
It's got a vibe.
It's like Jack's on his own, but there is definite homage. I'll say homage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, the moniker that he used, the look, the way the hair is, just the beard.
Yeah.
Everything is like
Looks all grumpy.
Yeah. It's
like
literally Jet Perry.
It's definitely the first iteration of the scapegoat, like the initial what we got with Jack.
Yeah.
Built on it now, but and hopefully he'll build on it too. But at the minute, it's quite recognizable.
Yeah. Match itself, Tony D wins with the spine buster. Sort of out of nowhere, actually, to be fair. I rated it 2.25 stars. and that's not a down mark on the match itself. It's because of the match length. It was less than 5 minutes.
Mm.
So, but I can't rate it too highly. And honestly, it was nothing more than a match of like buffering for Tony D. It was a match to just sharpen it to give him another win, sort of thing, and just doing the usual sort of the henchman must face you first before the main person.
Yeah.
So and in all honesty, this was very much a Brooks match. I totally didn't get much offense in, except for the spinebuster towards the end. And yeah, I mean, but to me, it was kind of I don't know, it kind of dragged for 4 minutes because Brooks' offense was mainly headlocks and sleeper holds.
I actually can't remember the match.
See?
I
remember the ending.
Remember the spine, but I remember, thinking about it, I just like, but I like Brooks Jensen.
Yeah.
I really do. I want it to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But what was I'm genuinely gonna have to go back and rewatch it. I know he's a hard hit, Brooks. He like
he's
when he does throw a shot, he does like throw a good shot, doesn't he? But fair enough. But Tony D, to be honest, the only thing I actually do remember was in the middle of the match, Tony D, I think he gets up, does his and beat him, and just thinking, Christ, he looks like a superstar.
Yeah.
And I just like it's just that's the only thing I can remember. I know it's more of a Brooks thing, this one. If you're gonna think as far as pushing anything, you've got to consider Brooks and the whole Brooks Sean Spears relationship.
Henchman.
The henchman thing. He's using him kind of thing.
Yeah.
Something you actually said before I hadn't considered.
What, that Brooks might not realize
Brooks is dumb.
Yeah, so Brooks is suddenly seems to be dumb.
Yeah.
But he's not dumb.
No.
He's been naive, like in the previous Brooks when he was, but I was looking at it today and like going back over some things, and I was like, he's being painted like he's dumb, and he's not dumb. So I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I'm hoping what they're doing with him is, when they strip a character right down to kind of a bare bones skeleton, and then they start to rebuild them piece by piece.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what they're doing with Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is at the minute, there's something that I'm like, I don't know about this, but I like Brooks.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be hopeful. But I feel like it's more he's just going to eventually cotton on that Sean is using him for his own gain, and their inevitable match will probably be great. But
yeah, exactly, because I think as well, like Sean Spears is like the ultimate sort of fall guy. Like he's someone who you can build a story with to the ultimate like match where he'll just lose, because he's someone who loses. Like he's not.
He's enhancement, but like on the higher level.
Yeah, he knows how to win.
He knows how to push other people.
It's sort
he
of
might
like,
not be the guy.
Like no shade on him, but like the Miz. Like the Miz is also a good example of that.
Yeah,
Chelsea Green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like we always that you like said before. She knows what there are different roles in wrestling other than just being the top guy or gal.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many different styles of wrestling and things you can have. John Cruz, there are enhancement talent on different levels. There's people who have taken in the young kids and getting them up there. There are people who are bench poles, or like Ilya Dragunov within NXT was a benchmark. He was the guy that you could really take you to task and make you look good, but also see if you can stand with him.
Mm-hmm.
There are people like that everywhere. And Sean Spears knows his deal.
It's not a bad thing.
No,
it's not a bad thing.
I know it gets used as like jobber or and you think enhancement and you think nameless random indie, but then when you actually look at wrestling, like within the scheme of like WWE, AEW and stuff, some of your top guys are literally enhancement, like the Miz.
Yeah,
their job is to help facilitate that getting over something, someone, an idea, and that's a hard job to do. So I would really love to start outlawing that whole enhancement's a bad thing.
Yeah,
It's really not a bad thing.
it's like if you look at like the history as well, like WWE, like within like the late 2000s, early 2010s sort of thing, even like nowadays, like every major star in the men's division that is has fought the Miz or has a program with the Miz of some kind.
Yeah.
It was Dolph Ziggler. Was like, oh, you got the intercut, you got the title. You got to face Dolph now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're new to WWE. You just recently signed. First feud. It's the Miz or Dolph.
Yeah.
They're always
I think Miz is like one of the guys they trust as well. That would like to do like celebrity appearances too. Like Bad Bunny, for example, was like one of the first ones that Miz that Bunny did with the Miz.
Yeah. And Logan Paul. Logan Paul was the first guy with Miz and Logan Paul. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We've said it for a long time about the Miz that when we came back into wrestling, 2010 was like, this guy, I was such a mark because he worked me perfectly. And now I understand when we came back into it, understand what it was. And it was like, oh, you're actually one of my favorite things about this product.
Mm-hmm.
And he continues to even do it now, like with the stuff he's doing on Raw, it's with the Wyatt Six and stuff. I love it. I think it's both kind of funny and dull, funny and silly, but it's also got that edge of like when the Miz goes real dark, and he's really good, and that's why he's got such enhancement, because he can be the really dark bad guy as well as the goofball idiot.
Yeah,
my balls are huge guy.
Yeah,
a reality star, also. So yeah,
but it's like even like going back to like with NXT, like Shawn Spears, Ty Dillinger. 10. Like,
yeah,
that was a whole thing. Like, and he got over with that, and it was very very much a comedic thing. Like, he never won a title in NXT as Ty Dillinger.
No,
did he not?
No, he was just the 10 guy.
He, like I say, I was saying this to Nick before. He actually could be one day the top guy. And you can use the belt to be the enhancement for the whole company, kind of thing. Maybe not for a long period, maybe just for a particular storyline where you need a real a Doctor Doom,
Yeah,
so he could be the top guy, but I don't think he cares if he is.
No.
He just gets to wrestle and put people...
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's the main thing with someone like him as well. Like, he's very much a veteran in the business, in that he's been wrestling for so many years that he doesn't feel like he needs to have a title at this point. It's just he's gonna use his experience and what he's learned over the years to pass on to the younger wrestlers and the future generation of wrestlers that are within NXT. If I had to guess, he wanted to go to NXT when he re-signed with WWE rather than go to Raw.
Yeah. I feel like he would. Yeah, feels like something he would have wanted to have done.
Yeah, because I think
he can have more impact.
He's got his own school, hasn't he? As well, Shawn Spears.
Sorry?
He's got his own school, hasn't he? Shawn Spears.
He does. Yeah, he does.
So it's all about...
I think he opened it with...
So go on.
I think when he was back in AEW before he... AEW, did he return briefly? I can't remember. But either way, when he was off for ages, I'm pretty sure he opened it then. Did he? Or if he opened it or did something with it. He did something with it then.
Yeah, I think he opened it with Tyler Breeze, wasn't it? Wasn't it Tyler Breeze?
I think so.
So yeah.
But,
no, I've got him mistaken. I'm mistaken.
But yeah, I think someone like Shawn Spears is not necessarily a bad thing to have in your company. It's just certain things can come across in a certain way. And a lot of Shawn Spears' stuff at the moment just appears to be not that interesting. To me, anyway. I don't know if you guys get excited by Shawn Spears stuff, but...
I'm just not too sure exactly where they're going.
He hasn't done anything. That's he keeps doing all these creepy looks, these speeches and stuff like that. But it's like House of Black. The pageantry was amazing, but what have you done?
Yeah.
What have you done? Like, why should we care? Obviously, it's not as much the case now.
It's not the case with House of Black anymore.
No,
it was for
a minute. And it's like, why should I care about this guy? But
I'm sure we'll find out.
He does have that extra element of being Sean Spears.
Yeah, exactly.
Which can't be not.
Yeah.
So you do have a bit of trust.
It's like every time someone says something like, "Oh, what are you gonna do with it with the world title or the NA title, or whatever," or who's gonna be the tag partner? I always say it as a joke, like, "Let's bring in Sean Spears," and because normally it's gonna get like, "Oh, really?" Like that's that sort of reaction. But then I'm always thinking like I could go into a rant about how he's generally the all-rounder guy you could bring in, because right now he's doing dark, brooding, mysterious, whatever, but he can do comedic. He can do the good guy. He can do the fool guy. He can do anything pretty much.
Yeah, he did a lot of that in AEW.
A lot of with the Pinnacle, it was really funny and stuff.
Yeah.
We
didn't really know him before into wrestling, and obviously I've seen. Oh my god! I forgot his name. Don't. Oh, in the loop.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger. Thank you so much. That was horrible. Sorry. Like we've seen stuff since we've gone back on pay-per-view or previous pay-per-views, takeovers, etc. So we get him more. But yeah, Sean Spears is an interesting guy. I'm looking forward to that match though.
Yeah.
But it's because when we do get to see him wrestle, I'm like, Jeremy.
Yeah. And
remind me. It does.
It's weird because like his wrestling style doesn't really change as well. Like you'll see it when it happens, but the style is very much the same that he tends to do. Maybe, but maybe throw in a bit more. Oh, I'm a heel. I'm gonna hit your leg or low blow you or something. Like, but other than that, it's the same like basic package of wrestling that he has, and it's something that he carries over with him, and it's something that he's perfected over the years. So, yeah, Sean Spears, everyone.
Yay, Saw! Yeah.
10. Post-match, Sean Spears offers a handshake, and as that happens, Brooks attacks Tony from behind with a chop block, taking out Tony's knee and alluding to what we'll see probably in the match with Tony and Sean. In that being a lot of leg work.
Yeah, you'll focus on that knee.
But yeah, after that we go backstage and we see the other half of the mixed tag. We see Carmen Petrovic and Ashante the Adonis. They're preparing, and they have a very different approach to how they prepare. Dion and Brindley were like getting, like hyped and pumped and whatever. Ashante says NFL stuff. Again, I just tuned out with the American side. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they seem to be getting along with the weird will they, won't they chemistry.
Yeah. He wasn't being too lecherous.
No.
So, yeah, it's fine.
Adonistly, I agree.
Gives me such rage. He does it every time.
Honestly, it makes me so. I was saying it as it was happening. It's like, oh, he's doing that thing where he speaks like a normal person again, so I can enjoy him. And then he said Adonis. I was like, no, no, screw it. No. But no, it's
high school GCSE drama.
It's that high school, it's GCSE drama.
Yeah.
It's what we said a little while ago about them, like the way that they run the stories of the younger ones coming up and then going further down the line as you get. I think it becomes more about like you get those deeper stories. So that's all this is, and it's really fine.
Yeah,
it's actually
it was an issue in the past, like a huge glaring issue in the past.
Yeah.
Whereas like, hey, I'm Ashante, I'm in the women's locker room, how you girls doing? Like, no, I know how this works. Fucking hell.
You can absolutely hit on people respectfully.
Yeah.
And you can approach people respectfully, and it's definitely not just like walking on into the women's dressing room and being like, hey ladies,
this is fun.
And just like bouncing from one to the other to the other to the other.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're on an upwards slope. Is that the word? Upwards curve with Ashante. It seems that way anyway. We'll see.
I'm gonna say we're coasting nicely.
Yeah.
At this point, coasting. Yeah.
It
could really go this way really quickly. So I'm not gonna.
It's less a red flag. It's more like an orange flag at the moment.
We've got an amber wave in.
Yeah.
Because like his behaviour and everything, I just think it's a great example to be setting to anyone, but whatever.
Just it makes me grossed out, and I'm like, okay, like I say, oh, you're a person. Cool. That's all I need. I need a bit of personality and I see a little bit of silly, not this.
Fletch.
You know what I mean? Like this is so not. No, it's fake as hell, and but it's obviously supposed to be. But yeah, maybe I'm just a mark. I don't know. Like maybe I'm just marking out.
The optics, though.
Yeah. So I'm happy to see it go in a different direction. So yeah.
But speaking of optics, we go backstage still. We're still backstage, and it's Lexis King, and he's talking to assumably himself. He's saying he wants to put his best foot forward and be the best version of himself. And things seem to go well for now. You can't win them all, but he'll get there. Good development. He's revealed that he's talking to apparently the new signee for NXT. I don't know how true this is. Yoshiki Inamura.
Yeah.
And like he's like, cool, man. And then
like that.
Yeah. What you're saying.
And then he walks off, and then here comes Josh Briggs, who's the guy who brought him in because of the time in Pro Wrestling Noah. And he asks, "What was that all about?" And she's like, "I have no idea, but it's crazy."
Yeah. But not only that, but obviously, I mean, with what happens next.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him.
It's good to see. Yeah, it really is.
I was nervous that they were going down the stereotypical WWE. He can't really speak English route. But it just turns out he wasn't really paying any attention to him.
Yeah.
Which is delightful.
It's just, as long as it ain't Carlito on Raw saying that, like...
Yeah.
Because that was horrible, but... Yeah, after they're talking, there's some sort of scuffle. A bunch of tag teams again fighting backstage, because that's just what they do. And then it pans over to Yoshiki and Josh, and Yoshiki's like, "This is my kind of crazy."
Wait, that whole thing was ridiculous. You've got this really kind of deep moment with, supposed to be, with Lexus, hopeful. And he has this moment, and it's all quiet, and then all of a sudden, this place is crazy. And the camera doesn't cut. It doesn't walk around the corner. It just goes.
Yeah.
Insane happening. What were they doing? Just fighting in silence, like they doing. Have you seen the other guys at the funeral where they're just fighting quietly on the floor? The referees are there just making sure they're quiet. It's ridiculous.
It's amazing.
Oh, it really got me. Yeah, it really got me.
It's amazing producing, amazing production that they do.
Yeah.
Invisible sound barriers.
Yeah.
Really.
You're only hearing the bit that you need to hear.
Yeah.
God, I wish life was like that. I could hear everything.
Could you imagine if Lex is trying to do his deep promo about himself and his self-development, and behind him there, he's behind.
There's no way they weren't close enough, and for that ball to clearly have been going as long as it was.
It wasn't like it just started.
As the lyrics be at least I'm going kind of what's going on behind me?
An introspective moment here, guys.
It's like, do you guys watch Dynamite AW?
Yeah.
Did you see from this week Shelton and MVP go to attack Swerve backstage? and then they got the other guy in the fur coat. That guy in the fur coat was just standing at the bottom of the stairs.
And he just got
Yes. That's all he was doing. He was just like, "This is where I stand."
Yeah.
He wasn't doing anything. Who stands directly at the bottom of the stairs? The psychopath. I kind of weird sociopath just stands like, I'm just going to wait for people to come down the stairs and they have to move around. Go up the stairs. Excuse me, sir. But that was so silly. What a weird place to. Yeah.
just chilling.
Yeah. Just chilling.
This is me. Where I stand.
I stand on this ground here.
This is my staircase.
But yeah, so moving on from that, we go into the mixed tag match itself with Ashante the Adonis and Carmen Petrovic against Dion Lennox and Brynlee Reese. I've got to say, before I get into what actually happened, this is a 50-50 match. I had no idea who's winning this.
Going into it now, it just felt like I was watching a little bit of like Range Hill.
It felt like it was more to just develop the actual little storyline that's going on more than anything.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, fair. But so the winners are Carmen and Ashante. When Brynlee slaps Ashante, and then that leads to Carmen high kicking Brynlee. I rated 2 stars. Again, short match, so again, just not a high rating. It was nothing particularly special, and it felt kind of rushed. This is a story that's been going on for the last few months. Like, you throw in that Dion here and Brynlee, whatever, but Carmen and Ashante have been doing this for the last month and a half, 2 months, 2.5, whatever.
So before Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
Like, so all this build to a 5-minute, like a 3-minute match. Like, and I don't know where else you can go from this, really speaking. Like, between Ashante and Carmen.
Yeah. I did wonder, because I've forgotten his name.
Dion.
Yeah.
Who is he?
What happened to him? Like, I felt like
What's going on with Dion?
Sorry, I felt like I looked away and he wasn't in the match or something. Like, he did get in the ring.
He was in the match
Did
for about
something. That's why I was.
20
That's why
seconds,
the match
if
felt
that.
rushed or something. Because I don't recall even seeing him at the end or anything. Like, usually they show a little bit of everyone, like, oh, these guys in defeat and stuff. I don't recall seeing them, so that's why I was like, did he get hurt very, very early on in the match or something? And is that why it was all kind of mostly just... It was mostly Carmen and Brynlee in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I don't recall seeing him much on camera. So I don't know what went on there.
I don't understand, because Dion has been on our screens for a while. I can remember one match of his. And it was his first one where he took his glasses off and became Superman.
Yeah.
And that was basically it. And he's been mostly... he might have been in matches, I just can't remember. And then with this one, it was... The only time I remember seeing him in the ring was at the beginning when they were doing the tag spot between the two of them, which I thought maybe they're getting in... I think Adonis is getting in their heads and she's trying to mess with Adonis and he's trying to mess with them using... Like, it's all working nicely. But after that, I don't remember Dion actually getting back in the ring at all.
No, I for a 3-4 minute match, whatever this was, Dion was in for about 20-30 seconds, and that was it.
It's not enough. Like, he's, like you say, he's been kind of consistently in the background, and I feel like there's something about him, but I don't know. It's like you need to give the lad something, like, and if you're going to throw him in a match like this, give him some time in the actual ring. Because, like, out of everyone in this little 4-way, he's the one that we're all like, well, who are you in this? Like,
he was the race guy,
you know,
and the green flag of it all.
And so I feel like if this whole scenario is intended to kind of eventually elevate these four.
Mhm.
That like whatever. That's why I'm assuming he got injured, because like surely they wouldn't do him like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, because that was a bit.
I hope I'm wrong,
He is good.
because I like Dion. Dion's good. He's got good chops.
Yeah.
But to me, the whole story was more about those three, and Dion was just sort of thrown in because Ashante needed someone male to fight, because he can't fight a woman on TV, because that's not how they do things.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Dion just felt thrown into this, because obviously you got Carmen and Ashante in their thing, and Brindley is the best friend of Carmen. So
Yeah.
that all suits him pretty nicely. And then Dion is just sort of, hello. he's just there. And
Yeah.
because he's like the friend of Ashante, even though he's not really the friend of Ashante, because it was a very short-term thing, because it was like, hey man, read a book. And then
So very like loosely they've had him in the background, like almost like he is supposed to be the one there to call out Ashanti or try and correct him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because he seems like he's not quite there yet with his character and everything. He's quite small, and the problem, not small as in size, I mean like his actions and things. He's things quite small. That doesn't translate on TV. You have to not go hammy, but you do have to make things a bit bigger, which is why you do things like this, like these little stories, like the GCSE drama stuff, hoping that eventually he will get a little bit more. But yeah, it just feels like he's been kind of like just chucked in just to make up the numbers, so that Ashanti's got someone to wrestle. They could really put more into it. It's just lazy.
I just want to know what they've got planned for him, and why he isn't being used as much as he seemingly will be.
Yeah.
Adonis is the same. It's like he's not really wrestled all that much. It's all just been these behind the scenes things. And Dion was originally like the good guy, nerdy guy in the whole thing. Like, be respectful kind of thing. I know that sounds like calling nerdy, but that is, and that's a good thing. Yeah, I've just. Where's it going, man? Where's it going?
I'm not sure.
Like you say, short match wasn't long enough to kind of garner much in the way of like, I care this much. But we'll see where it's going, because I don't think it's going away just yet.
No, I don't think so either. It just seems like a weird match to have, and for it not to be over. I don't know where else we can go from this. Like, there is a bit more later on, but like it's not really building.
It's not pushed it any further.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think you could focus more on Ashante and Carmen's single runs, personally. Because we know Ashante's a good wrestler. We know Carmen's a good wrestler. We know Brindley's
we don't need all.
We don't need the... whatever. You know, like...
We might have an avenue of where it could go.
Yeah.
And what would make this match make sense. In that match was made so that to facilitate a heel turn for Carmen against her friend Brindley.
Probably, yeah.
It does make sense that way.
They did the cheeky stuff, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But
doesn't feel big enough. But again, baby steps, because it's developmental.
Yeah. Also, it's just TV. You know, it isn't like it's on PLE or anything.
No,
it won't be, because they're still early doors. They're still, you know, I don't want to keep saying it because it sounds so disrespectful, but it's the perfect way to describe the high school drama of it all. The kind of storyline, the Hollyoak storylines.
Yeah, it's soap opera TV storyline here. You know, it's just, you know, it is what it is, I guess. And we'll move on to what we see next week.
It has a purpose, because it teaches them, like we say, how to go too far and be less subtle, in order to find the subtlety in how to make that high school drama project work as a, you know, film festival classic.
Yeah.
You know, so it does have a place as long as it keeps working, and it has worked in the past. It's just this has gone on for long enough. I don't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't
please.
say it.
What's the next? I don't even remember what the next matches.
The next thing on here is a interview with Ridge Holland. Ridge just talks about he goes on a rant basically. He destroyed Duke, he destroyed Riley, and he put Andre in the back of an ambulance. And once Ridge is done tonight, Chase U will be destroyed, and Duke, Riley, and Theo won't have a father figure in their lives anymore. He's going to go deadline. He's going to fight Trick, and Chase U, as we all know it, dies. That was the main thing he said.
Fine. Yeah.
Just generic. I'm going to kill what you love. Like
Standard bite
I'm
knife.
angry. I'm going to hit him.
After this, we do get the next match of the night. It is a women's Iron Survivor Challenge qualifier match. It is Ren Sinclair taking on Zarya. And remember, Bully Ray, if you're watching this, it's Zarya.
Zarya.
That was
The name we all know, Bully.
upset.
Fucking
That was
embarrassment.
an embarrassing situation.
Like,
Holy moly!
And can you believe the debut of the
You tell us who it is.
What's her
No,
name?
Bully. Don't know that.
You just said, "What's her name? Tell me her name." He said, "Tell me."
Tell us her name, and then the other guy just jumped under the bus with him. He may as well have gone, fucked if I know, Bully.
Across the board.
Jesus, blood.
Don't fucking have
2
them on the
seconds
show.
to do
Like,
research.
she was just on the
Staunch-
screen. Like, she was just there. How do you know her name?
Just professional.
Oh God.
But yeah, anyway, she's here, Zarya, and so is Ren Sinclair. Zarya wins, of course, with the F5 or Cyclone or whatever it's called. Again, yet to be given a name.
Yes.
So I rate this 2 stars. Again, short match. It's not a reflection on the match itself. It's just the match length.
Yep.
Again, though, it was just sort of there. It was a good match.
Yeah.
But again, you knew who was going to win.
Yeah.
Like, and saying that, Jada and Stephanie got about 10, 11 minutes. These two got 4.
It got a little bit. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Ren Sinclair, who I'd argue is better than Jada Parker, and more about a better wrestling style and better wrestling experience than Jada Parker.
I wouldn't compare them. I think they're both so different.
Well, no, they are obviously, yeah. But I'm saying in regards to
experience,
just
She's got more experience for sure. Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that the matches were very different in
Yeah.
match length, which felt a bit silly.
Yeah.
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 I very much agree. It felt like the first 2 matches, like, here's a bunch of time. These are super important. Oh, we've got the rest of a show to do.
It's like they hurried it along.
Let's go. A couple of pointless segments, but I didn't necessarily need. I think the show, like the pacing and the the style of the pacing that the last week's show had, because I thought last week's show was really well paced, but the urgency that last week's show had as to make it like exciting. This one, it lacked it a little bit.
It's a bit segment heavy.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened. A lot of the matches just they were fine, but like you say, they were short, so they just sort of felt like they happened.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for building up your new scary, your new big scary, new wrestler. But I feel like Ren, all the work that she's been doing over the last few months, she's really been putting time in. She's been having great matches. She's been working with Charlie and everybody. So I find it hard to believe that she wouldn't, it felt like a bit of a squash, and it felt a bit unfair to Ren. She should have definitely, if it had had more time to breathe, you can still make her look like this huge monster while still giving the match time for them to actually maybe wrestle.
Yeah.
Sometimes WWE as a whole struggles with that concept. Here's our new big scary monster. Watch them flatten everybody every single time for 2 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever. Then they get a long match and they're gassed. Or they're it's...
Yeah.
So,
It's just, we've seen what Ren can do before. In NXT or even in the Indies before NXT. she's a technical wizard. Like, she's really good in that style of wrestling. You can have her weakening Zarya throughout the course of the match, like on the legs, on the arms, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then eventually Zarya, being the monster that she is, she can power through the pain to hit her finisher or something like that. Like, but just have Ren build up that way as like this master of her style. And like, she knows how to fight someone who's bigger than her, someone who's smaller than her. She knows about someone who's the same size as her, who could do only a certain kind of style. Like, she can work around it because that's technical wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did run a bit dirty there. Like, I understand trying to make Zarya look great.
Mm-hmm.
You can, like, by all means, she does. She looks like a scary monster who will squish you. But you know, maybe not at the you know, the kind of expense of someone else who's been doing consistently great stuff.
Yeah. I guess even it's the amount of, like, say, it's the amount of time you got to give us someone who's got chops. So it seems like, you know, there's a possibility at least that they could beat them. It's not just going to be this one-sided thing to throw a little bit of excitement into the match.
Yeah.
But then, if you give them time, it will, just like you say, it will just look like a squash if the other person's offense isn't able to get their proper style of offensive off, which Ren never did.
No.
So, yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame. Run it back.
Yeah. But, you know, again, just to clarify, this is not a dig on Zarya or anything like that. Like, Zarya's amazing.
Oh.
It's just...
Oh, no.
It's just... We're criticising the way the match is booked. Not the wrestlers themselves.
Yeah, and I think her herself would probably have loved to have had more, because even someone who's trying to be presented as big and scary still wants to show that they can wrestle a match. So it probably still frustrates them to be like, oh, I'm just going to go out and slam them about a couple of times and I've won.
Yeah.
You know, I want to show what I can do. I'm not just, you know. So yeah, bit disappointing, but
yeah,
there's still time.
There's still time. But Zarya does qualify. So I didn't write this down actually. At the moment, it is Vakir, Zarya, and Soruka in that match.
Yes. Sorry, it's a strong looking matchup so far.
It is, absolutely.
Really, there's the both the Iron Survivors last year and the year before, they were like sleeper matches that out of nowhere were just like
Been good.
These are
Really
good.
good.
This is gonna be a lot of fun. So
I will say last year's men's really annoyed me. They really annoyed me.
won it, right?
Trick won that one, yeah. He got that. He got the BS like 1.5 minute, 5 pins in a row sort of thing, like.
Yeah. Last few seconds, wasn't it?
I was really on the trick train at that point, so I was like, yeah, boy.
It's really annoying me, but that's a story for another day. We go backstage now. We are in the medical office. Tony D'Angelo's there with Ava, and he's complaining about his leg and complaining about the attack from Sean and Brooks. He wants to face Sean Spears for his title now, I guess, because he's the champion, but he's offering a challenge to Sean Spears. And Ava says, "Sure, if you're cleared, buddy." It's like, cool, that's there. And Eddie Thorpe's there too. And and he does raise a genuine point of concern here. He says how his match had interference with all tag team stuff. Valid point. He was distracted by it and it cost him the match. Valid point. But you know, Ava won't or can't reverse the referee's decision, which again, fair point, because that's just a rule of wrestling. You can't do that.
Yep.
But she'll give Tony what Tony wants, but can't, you know, give a helping hand to Eddie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he threw a strop, as he should. He did this, I'm pretty sure last week he got into he was starting to show some frustration. We're going to see a less nice Eddie, because he's been such a nice guy.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Show us a bit of edge. I'm excited for it. I like it. I always end up getting, if there's a wrestler that I'm struggling with, usually when they show a bit of darkness or they show a bit of edge, even if it's just like losing a little bit of temp, like when Orange Cassidy first kind of looked like he lost his shit a bit when he
exciting.
You know,
Real people.
yeah, because, you know, as a human, nobody is perfect and white meat baby face. Everybody's got thing that makes them do something stupid, say something stupid. Everyone does something in anger. So when someone finally does that, I'm like, oh, there it is. That's another dimension added because, you know, and you're now more of a rounded character. So as soon as he started kind of getting a bit, I was a bit like, hang on there. Calm down. Don't be shouting at Ava. All right. That's our Ava.
That is
I will march into the sun for that woman. Don't come for Ava. But I was also like, all right.
Yeah.
Ava friggin' rules, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the thing I was saying earlier. Like, Eddie Thorpe hasn't done much in NXT. But this whole thing he's doing now, like, sure, you can call it complaining or whining or whatever, but he's raising valid points. And he's making... He's been forgotten about. You know, in NXT management, he's been forgotten about completely, where he's not been given opportunities that others are.
Yeah. Yeah. And that actually harks back to what we were saying literally before.
Yeah.
That he's been around for ages and he just it was like, where was he? And now he's suddenly in his match. Yeah. So maybe it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Probably is.
Probably is, yeah. I mean, I think everything in WWE, at least, is by design.
I hope so, unless they're just trying to, like, recover something, but...
Yeah.
See where it goes. Hopeful.
Yes.
Really, like I say, really hope he isn't off for a while because of that, because that would just be like another stall for Eddie, because he's had a couple of injuries. He had a few times he had to take some time off. So concussion, yeah.
Honestly, like, give him a week off, whatever. Go see a professional, right? Get the face mask like Rhea had on Raw, you know.
Sometimes
appear on Ava, appear on NXT in Ava's office. Ava, see what you did to me. Look at my face. Like,
go full on screaming and like,
Make
the match. Make the match. He's only got a half a mask. He's gone full dramatic, really dramatic.
Oh, he goes OT.
He comes out of like a Phantom of the Opera EDM version now. Still dancing.
Still is his little like hop dances in his entrance.
Still does the same song through, but to Phantom of the Opera EDM.
Honestly, like,
dubstep.
If he like embraced like the tribal aspect of his character, like him coming out to sort of like a OFME sort of music, doing that weird little hop he does, that could look menacing because it looks like a hunter.
Oh, it really could.
I think that's what that is. That actual like dance move is actually like it is kind of a warrior movement. You know, like you got the haka and stuff like that. So it is like it is something like that. And his music does have that element to it.
Mm-hmm.
And they did lean into his like his heritage and everything a while back. Remember Dijak and stuff. And I guess I don't know, they just suddenly decided he was a DJ. And I think he's gone back now.
But he was mixing it too.
Yeah, I think he's gone back to what he was doing because that was working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's always one thing about wrestling is getting to learn about different cultures. So I enjoyed all of the stuff that he was doing and all that character, and so I was suddenly really confused. It's like, why are we DJs now?
Yeah.
So I'm
I mean, you had,
see what happened.
Yeah, you had like Eddie Thorpe in his DJ set, and then he had like his king in his armchair listening to old rock music.
We never saw him sit. We haven't seen him after that, really.
No.
They had another match.
No, I mean after the King stuff.
That was it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's I'd never considered that. Like, if they just changed that music a little bit and made him a little bit more menacing or like a warrior hunting, I think that could really change. Because
heel turn,
there's certain people, not even for a heel turn, it just would change his attitude and his manner. Because some people vibe off that with the music. Not to continue to back to AEW, but Julia Hart's music helps her
Oh, it
get
really
into,
sets the tone, yeah.
for her, but it sets the tone for her, not just for the crowd. And every time that she's come out to it, each time it's a little bit different. She feels a little bit more settled. And I think if Eddie thought, like, doing that dance, getting in there like Obafemi, you're absolutely right. I've never that's really cool. Change it. Listen to us and make Soul Ruka and Eddie thought give them new music.
Yeah.
One of those two is doable. Choose one.
If Oba can strut, Eddie can hop.
T-shirt. Oba strutted so you could hop. So you could strut.
So yeah, after this, we get an in-ring promo from Fatal Influence. So that is, of course, Jason Jane, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix. I always get a slight bit of doubt in my head, but it's like I'm gonna forget someone's name here. So yeah, it's an in-ring promo from them. They talk about how the NXT Women's Division is the best and how they're the ones on top. They don't have to worry because no one's on their level. And then Fallon offers an open challenge for next week for her North America title, which is then answered immediately by Metaphor's Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. Firstly, the numbers. The math is not mathing. There's two of you. Like, who's answering the challenge? Like,
yeah. Come on.
Just gonna fight as one.
just like put Jakara on Lash's shoulders, and they fight as one unit. Like,
Yeah.
From like the what's it called, the morph suit from the Power Zord.
Oh, the Megazord.
Yeah, Megazord. Thank you.
But yeah, before anything they can get started, out comes Nikita Lyons to make her claim heard, which is like fair enough, 1v1, it makes sense. But then she's attacked by Rizzo, and then suddenly others come out, and there's like Izzy Dame's there and a bunch of women that I didn't really get a look at to identify them.
Catch everyone.
Mass brawl.
Big brawl on the ramp, and everyone's there except Fallon, who's in the ring watching on. However, behind Fallon comes a sneaky little minx. It comes Tatum Paxley, and she hits him with a psycho trap.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Exactly. Tatum holds the title up high, and it appears we've got our challenge answered.
Like it.
Yeah.
Book it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good match next week.
I think it is booked.
Excellent booking, David.
After this, we go backstage, back to Sean Spears, and he commends Brooks Jensen on a job well done. When the new guy appears, Nico Vance appears and tells Sean that he's got his time match with Tony D next week. Cool.
Yeah.
I think I missed that bit.
It was very short, so easy to miss. But after this, we saw a segment with Carmen and Ashante, who are seemingly getting more familiar and more chemistry. That is until Nikita Lyons appears. It's like, hey, Ashante, where's my text at?
Oh yeah,
Wait for him to text me back.
Why?
And then Carmen's like, okay, yeah, back to normal then. And then she just leaves him. And then Ashante genuinely looks distraught at this, and he's like, there was no text. I never sent her a text.
But she'll believe it because you were hitting on everyone. So it's coming full circle. He's learning a lesson.
Go around acting a tool.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's just a while ago. Will he learn the lesson? Sorry?
I said, if you go around acting a tool, everyone will assume you're a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like how Nikita likes to stir the pot as of late.
Yeah.
She's a real shit stirrer, isn't she?
She's better as a heel. She's better as a heel there.
Yeah. I like her as a heel.
I definitely, I dig her vibe, but she is a badass, legitimately. I definitely like this shit stirring Nikita.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, apparently there was never a text, and then we move on to the next thing. It's a vignette of Ethan Page. He basically just says he wants to qualify for the Iron Survivor. And this leads into a backstage segment with Fraxium, where Axiom reveals that Ethan's going to be fighting Axiom. for the Iron Survivor qualifier. Nathan's like, "Oh, you," and he's like, "I'm really proud of you. Good job."
I'm glad they went down that route instead of just redoing it again, because that would mean they went from Nathan doing it to Axiom to doing it to Nathan to doing it to Axiom to doing it, and the roles just reversing. But for Nathan to be like, "Hey man, like, see how much of a better friend I am than you."
Yeah,
it was quite
trying to do just like,
Yeah,
who's
like-
the better friend of us both, really.
yeah,
But then he asked that, then he says what he says, doesn't he?
yeah. He's like, "So hang on, amigo. If you win, what does that mean?" And Axiom just says it bluntly. It means that we'll fight each other. Which I thought was Axiom's always been the more realistic of the two.
Yeah,
Yeah, very much so.
yeah.
And honestly, I don't want to see Ethan Page again in the world title scene.
Not yet. No.
Like, honestly, just stick Axiom in there, because Axiom fits the theme of what I'm going for in my Eyes of fantasy booking.
Oh yeah,
So,
like Nathan and Axiom were both in the first one, right?
I don't remember who's.
Or was
I don't
Nathan in?
remember. I think
I feel
Fraser
like
was
they've
in
both been
second.
in.
I think.
Yeah, I think they've both been in, but separately. So
Yeah.
having them in together would be awesome. And on the Ethan Page front, I turned to Nikki when he came on the screen, and I felt awful because legitimately I said, "Oh, for a second I genuinely forgot Ethan Page was actually in NXT." Oh,
It's valid.
like Ethan Page.
It's valid because
Yeah.
he sort of
I'm feeling-
he fell to the wayside with the whole Ridge Holland stuff.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was a bit hard. Didn't quite work.
Didn't work, did it?
Big. I really like Ethan.
Yeah,
Wasn't well.
I'm not sure. It feels like he's something that I just feel like I don't necessarily know what to do with him. Maybe the heel Ethan isn't the wisest move. Sometimes a heel coming in as a heel is good for some people, but I think for Ethan coming in as a bit more of a face might have been a better option.
Yeah.
maybe.
Because like you said it as well, a few people have said it. He does look like a bit of a smarmy git,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Smarmy git acting like a smarmy git. That's too believable, and it's going to be something that I think genuinely will hold me back instinctually, just on like human level of stopping them enjoying that person. And I think that's genuinely why I struggle with Ethan Page to a degree in some of the stuff that he's doing.
I think it's with Ethan. It's very much again on that whole trick agenda, in that he was brought in specifically to be a folly to Trick.
Yeah.
Like, he's the heel to Trick's babyface. Like, and Ethan can cut a promo. Ethan can talk. He can hold himself well. So that's never going to be an issue. And that was what we saw. Like, we saw decent wrestling, I guess. But the main thing with Ethan was the character and what he said in his promos. And even as champion, he start the show off with a 10-minute Ethan Page promo, whatever. It's like, it's annoying, but he's the heel champion. It's what he's going to do because it's what he does. So Ethan Page was great as a heel, but again, I just feel like he was brought in to be that Trick guy, the guy to, like, you know, he took the title from Trick, and then he lost it back to Trick.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a Trick vortex. Once he's out of it, and then yeah.
So if he wins the Iron Survivor, he's back in the Trick vortex. Like, it's
Yeah. I really hope he doesn't.
So I honestly I would book it as Axiom wins, and then you can have the whole Nathan Axiom encounter in the Iron Survivor. Or,
Yeah.
in fact, even if those two start the match off in the Iron Survivor.
Oh my
That'd be
God.
good. All of this that they've been doing with them over the last however long, it feels like forever. Like, we need to pay off now. Otherwise, it's just going to get silly. So I feel like that's what that's all building to.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But, yeah, they don't kind of pull the trigger on whatever they've been hitting at forever, then I'm going to lose interest.
Yeah, but I'll get into what I was saying earlier about the whole what I was like envisioning for the men's Iron Survivor. Look at the current field that you've got. You've got Wesley, Javon Evans, Nathan Fraser, and then you'll have Axiom or Ethan Page. They're all smaller guys.
Yeah.
And it makes the most logical sense to me to have the fifth person be someone who's bigger.
Oh boy.
I'd put Oba as the fifth person. Like, have this massive titan of a guy and the four smaller guys.
Yes.
Like, and
gotcha. You can have a fun with that.
Legitimately, you could do the trick thing as well, like you did last year with Oba, and it make a lot more sense. Being the fresh monster coming into the match with the four weakened little guys, well, not little guys, like smaller guys, and literally just throwing them about the place and pinning each one like several times, whatever. Just like,
oh,
you're gonna come out with like the most pins like ever in these talks. Like he'll start some kind of like. What's the word?
At some point, they're gonna have to start that record.
That's what I mean. That record, yeah.
Like he gets he gets like 10 pins in 5 minutes or something like that. Like
something just ridiculous. I'd love to see Oba in it. Yeah. Definitely.
To me, it makes the most sense because if you put an Ethan in there, it'd be whatever. Ethan is also not a winner, like because the field is set in a certain way where Wesley, Javon, Nathan, and Action or Ethan are not winners in this sense of the word. They're not going to win to go on to fight Trick. Like, you'd have someone else who's like a boss for Trick. And that would be Oba. Like, you could theoretically have said Dijak back in the day when he was in NXT, but Oba is the next closest thing you got. And Oba is arguably the best thing that you do have in regards to what you can do with this. And again, I'm a little selfish. I want to see Oba just throwing people around the ring, but yeah, I mean that's my vision for it. Oba being the fifth person.
I dig that massively myself. I think Oba does make most situations better because he can work with small. Because he's so big, he has to work with small guys. So he's really good at that. I'll take anything with him. To be honest, like you say, I think he is one of the most well-rounded products that they've got on NXT for sure. Is Oba Femi, and in such a short period of time as well. It's like, God, just don't be a dick. You know, just don't screw it up, man. Like, because you're doing really well. And let's just keep that ball rolling into 2025.
Yeah,
because he will be champion. He will be the main champ.
Yeah, like I would be if I was Ava. I was like, you know what, Eddie? Yeah, sure. You can have your rematch for the Iron Survivor or whatever. You know, sure. And then it's Oba.
That would tip me over the edge, for sure. Most definitely tip me over the edge.
But yeah, Nikki, what are your thoughts on the Iron Survivor being someone like who's your fifth person for the Iron Survivor?
Now that you've said it, I want Oba. I don't want anyone else. I want Oba.
Yeah,
if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be really upset.
It's just like I don't know who's there in NXT that can be a really big letdown.
I'd take Anthony. That's it. Anthony or Oba or Anthony. Tony. Sorry.
It's like,
who's Anthony?
His full name here.
Full name Anthony.
His full legal name here.
I watched too many mafia TV shows and movies, and be like, you know what? I'm one of them.
Anthony D'Angelo.
Anthony D'Angelo. name. As I was saying, like, who the f- are you talking about? Didn't even know. Like, oh,
I assumed you went like Anthony Ogogo or something. I was like, Ogogo's not in NXT though.
That's why I went
Jeez.
because I was like, yeah, Anthony Ogogo.
It's not in the borderlands. I really can't. I'm trying. It's not happening.
I'm not trying.
Stop trying.
Stop.
So yeah, after that though, we do move into the final vignette of the show, which is one more rallying cry for Chase U. He talks about it very calmly to begin with. He's like, you know what, over the years I've been a little brash, you know, a little shouty, you know. And that's not fucking changing.
Yeah. One last little thing was it was nice, like kind of like just before the match kind of thing to like remind us of all the fun stuff and just to add that element of drama to the mix.
Yeah.
Before heading in, so you don't know kind of where it's going.
Yeah.
You can see the visible, like kind of, oh god, from the three main Chase U students, Duke, Thea, and Riley. But yeah, it was fun. It was a nice little way to kind of get you pumped before the next.
Yeah, absolutely, it was. So out comes Trick Williams. So now must be time for the main event. So
Yeah.
Main event. NXT title #1 contenders match. Also, if Ridge wins, Chase U is disbanded, destroyed, whatever. It is Ridge Holland against Andre Chase. And Ridge wins with the Redeemer.
Damn!
Straight through my soul.
Yeah.
Right. It just.
It cut like a knife. It really did.
Like, you know what, Sean? Fuck you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say.
When Cody lost at Mania 39, was it? Yeah, we just had Cody. That was like the energy got sucked out of the room. When Chase U lost, that hurt me physically.
Yeah.
In a way that we're not expecting at all.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely fine for it to happen. I was like, yeah, this is where it needs to go in the story. And then it happened, and it was like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm really sad by this.
Yeah. It's like it's something that you can try and rationalize it happening, but when it happens, it's like, oh, I didn't actually feel it gonna happen. Like,
No.
like WrestleMania 30. Like, no one thought Taker's streak was gonna end.
No, yeah, and then it goes, and you're like,
it's like what the hell? Like,
the world's different now.
Yeah,
this part of the this part of the world is different now, completely.
It was such a good match.
Mm-hmm.
It was
like the match itself. I initially was like, I don't think he's good. They're gonna win this. And then, in typical Chase U fashion, they made me believe, and they made me believe hard. And I was popping out. I was like, yes, with everything. Reminds us every single time, Andre Chase, that he can go. And yeah, to say I was upset is a slight understatement. If I recall correctly, I just kind of made a squeak and then shouted, "They took my thing from me." I started to cry.
Oh.
I genuinely had tears. I couldn't help it.
Mm-hmm.
I just had very big emotion about it, I guess. They worked me like, no.
Completely fair. Like I said before we started recording, like I don't process emotion in the same way as most people do. So in what is a very sad occasion, I took it more as anger, and I was more frustrated at the decision here that's been made here, because to me, Deadline's not a big show. It's not a PLE sort of like main show for NXT. So I figured they were going to do more of Ridge, as in like build him to a PLE sort of defense for Trick. So I thought, here you have Andre win, or maybe a tie or something, or a draw or something like that. and that way you keep Chase U, and Andre gets a title match, and then that can be your deadline match because Trick's not the focus of deadline. You know, it's about the Alliance Survivors.
Yeah, that would have done very well as a PLE match. That should have probably been a PLE match, especially with the kind of like the the run outs that we got. I would to Ridge. He took on literally Chase U himself, and was able to get the dub. Like Duke, Thea, and Riley all took some shit, but they gave it and dealt it. How God, you really did believe the magic of Chase U hits you every time. It's been a magical thing since the get-go. Since turning Duke. Since they turned Duke, it was like,
oh, there's something about this.
This place can actually do some good with people. Like, this place can actually be fun. And then it did it with JC, and then it kind of went skew with. But there was always that thing of like, God, there's a magic to him.
Yeah.
And whether it is, for the last time ever, for real, like, it was that when that 3 hit, it was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it really
fun.
And you could feel the energy getting sucked out of the room on the broadcast. Like, as soon as he hits that 3, and it's like everyone's like, huh? Like,
it was just
yeah. Well, it wasn't until you started welling up. I started welling up, saw Nikki well up, and was like, "Oh, I can be boyfriend here. This is fine." So what messed me up was when I sat back down, and it cut to Chase, and he was just reaching out like, "Oh no," and I was like, "Oh, you."
Like
Stop it!
The visual of Andre in the corner, looking out of the ring, like to see his comrades all like on the floor, like all wiped out.
Pageantry.
Yeah, but I do need to. Why the fuck was Trick there though?
I don't know.
He comes out first. He gets like his music. He comes out. He chills on the desk. He's the one who was like, "Yeah, Mr. Chase. Yeah, you'll get him." Like, yeah. Then sits and watches and does fuck off. He's just like at the end with just like, oh. I blame Trick now.
Yeah, that's valid. Absolutely valid. Because there was a moment the ref was taken out. Like, Duke came in. So did Riley. Like, they both came in because the ref was out. Like,
yeah, get in there, Trick.
Yeah.
Now
He could have done more. I
forgot immediately that he was even on commentary. And then I was like, oh no, Trick is there, because I thought, oh, maybe he just came out, and then I didn't know if I'd missed something and he'd gone off to the back again, and then they showed him just stood there at the end. I was like, where the fuck were you?
Yeah. And
you should have done something.
Another thing I've got to say as well, towards the very end of this all, obviously people are in shock and whatever, or saying like thank you Chase or whatever. There's a small section of the crowd that I specifically will say fuck you to, chanting the na 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 na, hey hey goodbye.
Yeah, I think that this is because I was looking at them and they weren't looking at the ring, they were looking towards the ramp, so I don't know if they were saying it to Ridge as he was leaving, but it did sound like it sounded like they were singing it at Chase, but the people they weren't like, you can see him gesturing. Not gesturing towards the ring, they're gesturing that way. So it's like, now's not the time.
Don't say it right now. Like,
wait.
No. Someone who just won. That's kind of the point. It's like a loss. Get out. That's not what happened here.
Imagine the F1 who's a heel won a match. Everyone's just like, goodbye.
I really hope it's the NXT audience being like, remember who did they do it to? Do you remember when they really didn't like how that somebody was being really pushed and they turned their back?
Oh, they've done it. I can't remember who the last
They've got
yeah, they did
fans in
Fans,
that
yeah.
crowd that really do let you know when they don't like when something's happening. And before now, they all got moved after it.
Mhm.
They did it a couple of times across the week, and there was like this big moment. I can't remember. I think it might have been Breaker winning. Actually, I don't remember. It was I think it was when
early 2.0.
it was early
Yeah.
2.0 days. They were very much fighting against it, but they all just stood up and turned their backs, and it was supposed to be this really big like yay moment, and they said no. So the NXT crowd,
I think it might have actually been Bron winning.
I hope it's not them doing their "we don't like you, go away" thing to Ridge, because he doesn't need that right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not that. But to me, it's like
It's gonna get heated.
it comes back to the argument of like indie wrestling as well, like indie wrestling fans who try and make the shows about themselves.
Yeah.
Like it's not about you. You know, it's you're there. You paid for an experience. You didn't pay to make your own chants and shout hate at people. Like it's not what you're there for. Well, at least it's not what you should be there for.
Like chants are fine.
Yeah, the chance is fine.
It's not. It's about not spreading hate. The chants you give, the audience should be giving to the wrestlers.
Yeah.
because they're giving back to you. So, and the wrestlers want that noise. But like you say, don't shit on someone necessarily unless it is very much forthcoming. Like,
Yeah.
and what the whole point is to shit on them. Like,
Mhm.
because there's people who are like, yeah, I give it to us. That's going to make everything better. I love this heat. And currently, Ridge Holland has the most heat in NXT now.
Yeah, he does
like
now.
he's got
Absolutely, he does now.
very much so. But oh my god, dude, mate.
Like,
I'm going into mourning for Chase University. I will be taking no questions.
mm,
I'm going in the
I
afternoon.
need some time.
yeah, it.
Hear me out on this. So the stipulation, it didn't say that Chase U disbands. It says it separates from Thea, Duke, and Riley. So is Chase U still a thing? Because they all the way said Chase U will never be the same again. Chase U will never be what it once was.
Ridge taking over.
Those three things. Chase U is still a thing. So do we get a new group of people so that Chase U can continue
Mm.
its life as what it is? And then Thea, Duke, and Riley can go off and do their own thing and develop differently.
Yeah.
Maybe there's maybe that, because I don't want to see Sarah. Am I talking too loud?
Oh no.
But I don't want to see Chase U go fully. And there's that little part of me is like, Chase U's still there, because the actual stipulation didn't say Chase U goes away. It just says it separates from
Those
Thea.
four, I'm sure it said Chase as well. So, because Ridge is taking over, that's the whole point. He's pushed them all out.
Mm. Is it Chase
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
yeah. And it's like Ridge will be Ridge.
Rid you.
I'm sorry.
You.
I call it Ridge you.
Rid you.
It's too close.
Can you close to?
Fuck off. No.
No, I genuinely don't know. I'm like, there's like three in my head.
So many people are going to call it Rim U.
Oh, right.
Like, they're immediately going to go Ridge you, Rim U, immediately, honestly.
Honestly, where my head went.
So I'm just looking at it now, the graphic. It says if Andre Chase loses, Chase U must separate from Thea Hale, Duke Hudson, and Riley Osborne.
Does that include Chase? Because I'm sure that in the like thingy,
Chase.
like in the little promos and everything, they made it out like Ridge was taking it from him.
I mean,
That's what he is.
I'm sure we'll find
He's
out.
taking them from him. He's making it so
Yeah.
that they have to leave.
How's he going to do that?
Which
He's
is
going
why
to put a restraining order in place and stop them from being friends.
yeah.
you can no longer hang out with them.
Pat Mark over from Ring of Honor.
It's a very odd call.
You can have night school.
We're all starting to wear black.
Yeah, that is
It can still have, night school can still have
Holding on by a goddamn thread, aren't we?
NIT.
Hanging on to their line.
I don't know.
But I liked it though because it made me.
Not too hopeful. But it did give Ridge a huge amount of heat.
Yeah.
Like he needed more.
But they're gonna love to hate him now. They just hated him before. Now they're gonna love to give him shit.
Like, he's killed the one thing that was left of 2.0.
Yeah.
Like, cause I think they're the only thing that's left of, like, that was around in 2.0 that...
They were around before it.
Yeah.
Were they? Chase U started before it.
Chase
I don't remember.
Chase U was in the very last stages of Black and Gold. Like, it was at the very end, but it was there.
The first time I remember seeing Chase himself was at Indy and Dexter's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I remember seeing him.
I just remember seeing people in the crowd.
Did somebody say Andre Chase?
That was it.
Yeah.
And then a week later, or a couple of weeks later, we saw him at the university, like, what the fuck? And then he swore, and was like, oh, he's great.
Yeah.
And then the magic began. The magic began.
But yeah, I guess we'll go into Deadline, Ridge and Trick in what will ultimately be a throwaway match, because I think we all know the result of that match.
The fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Trick is probably going to be taking that shit.
it makes no sense. Although,
It's still stand and deliver.
You could go the route, I guess, of Ridge winning the title, because he's like killed Chase U. He now kills Trick. Like,
Bad call.
I mean, if you do want to make him kind of a mega heel, then yeah, he should take out all of the favourites.
And if you remember, Ridge has actually been in NXT, like, other than his main roster run, he was in NXT 2019.
Yeah.
He was wearing your hat, Mike.
Yes, very much. Screw this hat now. Got that Ridge hat. I sort it. That's why I did it at the end.
But yeah, I mean, I think with that in mind, that is pretty much all that's there. All that's there's nothing more to say. There's nothing.
No.
You
can't take it away.
Can't
change it.
You can't change it, unfortunately. Like Eddie Thorpe, you can't reverse decision referee.
But with better music,
man.
You're on hold with that one. Seriously, I'm serious. That's a really cool idea, but
thank you.
Yeah, what a weird feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bummed out by this, and the fact that it's quite fresh to me as well, because I literally watched it like a couple of hours ago. But yeah, that does unfortunately bring an end to NXT, and that brings an end to this podcast. Any final comments before we get into the outro?
No, I think it was a fine show overall, just really segment heavy, but they do that. They do, like, it seems to be a pattern where it's like 2 or 3 weeks of kind of more matches and segments, and then we'll have about a week or 2 weeks of more segments and matches, and then they'll go back to the matches. And I get it, because again, developmental, they've got to get that stuff in. I just don't particularly enjoy that, because it was just like a segment after a segment after a segment after a set. That's fine. It just felt like a lot. So yeah, some really great matches. I loved the main event. The actual match itself was brilliant. I enjoyed myself. Just, yeah, a mad Debbie Downer ending, so kind of come away with the bottom lip out a bit. But yeah, see where Deadline goes.
Yeah, it was a strong start to the show and a strong end to the show, and the middle the middle was just there.
Yeah.
You've said it before. The only times that I've seen Nikki go as wild as she was, like as pumped as you were for the match, has been through Chase U stuff, or in NXT. So yeah, that, like I say, that ending it hurt still, but I enjoyed it because it gave a genuine feeling And it was just like, yay! It was like oh God, I am a human being with a heart, and my heart hurts.
They made
And
us
sometimes you
bleed.
need reminding of that when it comes to the wrestling. So, but yeah, bit of a downer of an ending, but overall, it was a fine show. Was it the show for Chase U to go?
No.
In all
Happened on the
honesty, was there, the lows that you feel with Chase U being disbanded or with Andre losing, would the highs be as high if Andre had won?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's that they've been chuffed.
Very much so.
I mean, like, yay, we're not losing it, and it was still a great match. But sometimes in wrestling, you do need the gut punches, and you do need the, oh God, they actually did it this time. Or,
Thanos clipped it.
Sometimes you just need to be reminded that it can go either way, even if it doesn't matter how hard you believe, it might not go your way.
Yeah.
And it's a nice reminder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Creating drama. They're creating drama. They're trying to create moments, and Chase U may have had to have gone eventually, and that was a moment. Genuinely, everyone felt it, and it'll be a thing that people call back to. It'll be like most heartbreaking moments and storylines. That's one of
the dismantling of Chase U and the destruction of it is definitely something that NXT have done really well. I think the building of it and then the dismantling of it over time has been really good.
That goes up there with Ciampa turning on Gargano, that kind of deep relationship.
Yeah.
What? It's just a moment, and that is, it's rare to pull it off in such, like you say, a gut punch, but like, I need to see next week now.
Yeah. Even though I was like, proper upset, I was still like, I love wrestling.
Yeah.
It makes me feel. It makes me feel sometimes
if it makes you feel like it's better than having no feeling. Like, good or bad, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's just but still. Fuck you, Sean. Like,
or we will wake up and the world will be different.
I am a changed woman. I am scarred. I bleed red, Chase U.
It's fine. All I've got to do is complain to Ava, and Ava might reverse the decision.
I wonder if she's on Blue Sky. She's not on Twitter. These guys are gonna be like, Ava, babe, listen.
Be less toxic, but it's still gonna happen. Change this, please.
But yeah, that does unfortunately bring an end to the show. As always, you can follow myself on Twitter. It's just there. But pencil in, guys. Where can everyone find you? Because there's a lot of media out there.
So you can find us both on X, and you can also find us on Blue Sky now. Usually the same usernames: penciled in Nikki, penciled in Mike, and also keep an eye out on both my X and my Blue Sky. Possibly tonight. There's an exciting project that Charlie, I don't know if you know Charlie Crothers, he announced it at Progress. He's doing a zip line challenge to raise money for Maggie's cancer centres. And part of that is I've made some bracelets. There's only 10. So anyone first 10 donations in that little time frame gets a Maggie Centre bracelet. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you can donate to it, please do, because it's a great cause.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. But yeah, it feels weird now to plug my own after that now. You know what? No, end the show. Cut it there. But yeah, no. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff that I feel bad for saying now. But
calm down.
Sorry, I was just going to ruin it by saying push Lexus King.
But yeah, it's all free, hurts no one. And our social medias are also at the bottom of the screen, not Blue Sky. We're on Blue Sky, but it's not on the screen. So Instagram is there, Facebook, X, and Twitch. Twitch is dead at this point. Twitch is just dead. Like, I keep saying I'll do some of it, and I never do. So you know what? Twitch is dead. No more live streams.
You know what, man? Come on, first chase you.
then the Twitch.
Damn it, dude.
Oh. No, that's it. That's bringing an end. I've been Dan. These have been the President guys. And we'll bid you adieu.
Thank you so much for having us here, dude.